This is ABC 7 News at 6.
After a fiery town council meeting, Lincoln approved a town budget that is slated to drastically cut spending for public safety and other departments. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Public safety officials are warning these upcoming cuts will present significant operational challenges in the year ahead. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
Major reductions in services are on the horizon for the town of Lincoln.
We've got to right-size government, because if we don't, people are going to continue to leave.
Monday night, the town council approved a $9.9 million budget following a series of 4-3 votes for fiscal year 2027.
I don't think it's going to be worth it.
The budget is a major reduction from the $11.5 million budget proposed by the town manager. Councilor Gordon Street fears this move will drive more people out of town.
The town of Lincoln is a service business, and we are effectively turning around and saying, sorry, we're not going to serve you anymore.
Some of the biggest cuts are to public safety.
It's going to be a big hurt for the department.
The fire and EMS budget has been reduced by more than $300,000. 80% of that budget goes towards payroll. Fire Chief Les Brown says the budget cuts could reduce the number of full-time personnel from 20 to 14, impacting emergency response efforts.
They tell 911, we will be there, but maybe not with the crew that we should have to respond.
Funding for the physical fire station was also reduced.
If we have doors that break, if we have a furnace that goes down, if we have a breathing air compressor goes down, we're not going to have the money to repair it.
The police department's budget was also slashed by around 20%. Chief Lee Miller says they are hopeful to avoid reducing staff, but several vacant positions will likely remain unfilled.
Having the proper supervision, the proper training for these officers is really important, and that's going to be significantly decreased.
The effort to cut back on costs was spearheaded by Councilor David Ireland. In a statement shared with us, he argued that spending has increased dramatically over the last decade, and the burden has been placed on property taxpayers. Spending for departments like Public Works and Recreation have also been cut.
We're going to put our town taxpayers at risk. It's terrible what they put us into.
The budget will take effect on July 1st. Chief Brown says they could see staff reductions within the next 3 to 4 months. In Lincoln, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Bangor City Council has approved a $145 million budget. It includes money for another assistant city solicitor and 8 new firefighters. There is also funding for a housing response coordinator. Councilor Susan Falloon voted against the budget, saying she supported the new positions in general, but when the budget was presented, they were told it was supposed to be a starting point, and the implementation of the new positions was expected to be more gradual.
The budget largely looks the same as it was when it was originally presented. So while the overall tax burden was reduced from what was originally proposed, that largely happened by shuffling money, not by eliminating expenses.
Well, that budget was passed by a vote of 5-3. Well, just before 11:30 this morning, firefighters were called to a structure fire off Route 102 in Bar Harbor. As crews battled the blaze, the fire was upgraded to a 3rd alarm, bringing in mutual aid companies from across the region. Departments as far away as Ellsworth responded. According to the Bar Harbor story, Route 102 was shut down for a time as emergency responders worked at the scene. And with no fire hydrants available in the area, Trenton Fire Chief Steve Heckman says his department helped coordinate a water shuttle operation transporting thousands of gallons of water to support firefighting efforts. Now, the cause of that fire remains under investigation. The case has been turned over to the state fire marshal's office. Well, the city of Brewer invites residents, businesses, and community organizations from across our region to join them this Thursday night for a community fundraiser to support families impacted by the tragedy at Robbins Lumber Mill in May. The Neighbors Helping Heroes event kicks off at 6 o'clock Thursday night at the Brewer Auditorium located at 318 Wilson Street. The family-friendly event includes food, face painting, bounce houses, touch-a-truck displays featuring local fire departments and emergency vehicles, and a family movie to conclude the evening. This is an all-donation event, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Waldo County Firefighters Association. Brewer Fire says not only will the money help the families affected, but it will also help affected communities and fire departments who rushed in to help and lost equipment in the explosion.
I believe there were 3 fire trucks that were destroyed in this tragedy. And then the various equipment, we have turnout gear that we wear and our air packs. All that stuff is compromised or damaged and needs to be replaced. And unfortunately, it's rather expensive to replace. So.
Turtelot says there has been an outpouring of support from the community for the event. Again, the Neighbors Helping Heroes event kicks off at 6 o'clock Thursday night at the Brewer Auditorium located at 318 Wilson Street. And on a related note, Governor Janet Mills has ordered both United States and State of Maine flags to be lowered to half-staff across Maine tomorrow from sunrise to sunset in honor of late Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief Wayne Woodbury, who died June 14th as a result of the explosion and fire at Robbins Lumber in Searsmont. Funeral services will also be held at 1 p.m. Wednesday at Belfast Area High School. Flags were also lowered back on Friday, May 22nd in honor of Morrill firefighter Andrew Cross, who also died as a result of the fire and explosion at Robbins Lumber. Well, a lot of Mainers will be getting a nice surprise in the mail. 34,000 of them are getting unexpected checks from unclaimed property that has been verified through a data match with Maine Revenue Service. The Maine State Treasurer's Office says the checks will be released this week. They say they range in amounts from $10 to $5,000. Unclaimed property consists of money and other financial assets that are considered lost or abandoned when an owner cannot be located after a specific period of inactivity. It includes items like bank accounts, uncashed checks, life insurance policies, unpaid wage refunds, and safe deposit box contents. Now, the Treasurer's Office says people should start receiving the checks on Thursday. In other news, it is officially strawberry season here in Maine, but as our Alex Schley tells us, extreme weather patterns over the past year have created some challenges for essential Maine growers.
Fresh Maine strawberries may be a bit harder to find this year.
Our strawberry season is kind of coming to an end. It's started a little early, so I think we probably get to Saturday, but our U-pick is done.
A couple of towns over, however, the season is just getting underway at Tree Ridge Family Orchard in Levant.
This is the beginning, yep. So I'm hoping to be going strong through the 4th of July.
The difference highlights the challenges growers face after a year marked by both droughts and then heavy rain, and wildly different growing conditions from one farm to the next. Farmers say last summer's drought put a significant stress on the strawberry plants. Only some of the strawberry fields at Thunder Road Farm are equipped with irrigation.
So that stress of the the hot summer with no rain, and then a lot of rain this year, it's just hasn't helped them.
Owners say the drought's effects are still being felt this season.
Yeah, it's bad for the roots. They can't produce the sugar like they should, and then if the berries get wet and they sit there, then they rot quickly.
Owner says strawberries are one of the most demanding crops he grows.
My growing friends call them struggle berries, so they take a lot more TLC than my other crops.
Despite these challenges, farm owners say customers should not expect higher prices.
We're not going to up it a lot to try to make up for our issues that we have in the field.
Growers say fresh Maine strawberries should remain available through the 4th of July. But with conditions varying from farm to farm, they recommend calling ahead before heading out to pick. In Levant, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And now we'll check in with Jeff Weller for a first look at our forecast.
All right, thank you. Some rain-cooled 60s out there for us today, but tomorrow up near 70 and an 80 is in the 5-day forecast going forward. Today, though, lots of clouds around, some showers in there as well. Nothing heavy, but we'll get a break in the action tonight, followed by more showers and storms tomorrow night, and likely on Thursday as well. So kind of a wet week ahead with several chances for rain and storms across the area of the weekend. The wind out there today basically out of north around 10 miles per hour. This, though, will go calm tonight. You know what that means. The clearer skies, the light winds means some dense fog once again. If you're out driving 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow, watch out for some dense fog across the region. Then it'll quickly lift, though, with the sunrise tomorrow morning. Our forecast, though, for tonight, though, is cloudy skies out there, or decreasing clouds late with some dense fog late, too. Look for low temperatures down near 55. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And there is more local news ahead. Stay with us.
Maine's premier community radio station, Star 97.7. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years with Paul and Mike in the morning. Local weather with Steve McKay and Michael W. Hale in the afternoon. Star 97.7.
Maine's farms are being sold to China. Chinese criminal networks are infiltrating rural Maine. But Senator Susan Collins is fighting back. Susan Collins voted to stop China from buying up our farmland. And Collins is helping to crack down on Chinese organized crime. Collins delivered millions in more resources for local law enforcement, protecting our families, our farms, and bringing big money back home to Maine. Call and tell Senator Susan Collins to keep protecting rural Maine.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
T-Mobile has the best network. That's why there's no better place to get iPhone 17 Pro on them.
Hold on, is this big enough? We should have music, lights, banners. I mean, you gotta feel it. Get the most powerful iPhone ever on the best network. I should dance.
This is big. At T-Mobile, get the incredible iPhone 17 Pro on us, on the best network.
I'm gonna do a flip. Nailed it.
Maine's premier community radio station, Star 97.7. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years with Paul and Mike in the morning. Local weather with Steve McKay and Michael W. Hale in the afternoon. Star 97.7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. A restaurant, bar, and karaoke hotspot in Brewer is now for sale. Our Sam Miller has the story.
After 4 years of business, multiple closures, and a grand reopening in March, Mad Catz Restaurant and Bar closed its doors on June 7th and is now on the market. Originally opening after the closure of Jetzer's Bar and Cityside Restaurant in 2021, Mad Catz became a popular location known for its fresh food and karaoke scene. However, due to personal health issues and a lack of consistent funding, the owners put the restaurant up for sale and are searching for potential buyers. Co-owner Stephen Markwith says the restaurant is ready for use and just needs to be steered in the right direction.
We're hoping to sell everything as a package to a potential buyer, again, where it's turnkey, ready to go. If we have to, we can parts everything out, sell a fridge here, sell a table there. We are hoping to avoid that because obviously it involves us being here a lot more, and you're getting nickel and dimed, and we owe a substantial amount of money in debt. So if we could sell it all as a package at a substantial discount to at least make a dent in the debt, that's all we're looking to do.
In their latest Facebook post on the Mad Catz Facebook page, the owners invested over $500,000 in the business, but are content with selling it for $159,000. Despite the closing, Markwith expressed gratitude for people who came from across the state to have a good time.
We've had people coming from 2 hours away, people coming from whether it's Mountain Desert Island area, whether it's the Lincoln area, Waterville, Belfast. Thank you all for the support, and I really appreciate that, especially those of you who came on a very regular basis And those people really helped us hang in there as long as we could.
Markwith added that with a combination of new ideas plus everything the building includes, the sky's the limit for anyone looking to purchase. In Brewers, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll have sports and your full forecast. Don't go anywhere.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
I served 2 tours in the Middle East, 21 years in the Air Force.
I served in a field artillery unit.
The Maine National Guard. I respect Graham Plattner's service, but he doesn't respect ours.
Plattner falsely accused a military hero of war crimes.
He said a Purple Heart recipient didn't deserve to live after being shot, trying to save his own troops.
And Plattner blames his Nazi tattoo on military culture? That's insulting. Graham Plattner's a fraud. He's unfit to represent Maine.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
250 years ago, America found a reason to come together. Generation after generation, Phantom Fireworks has been part of that tradition. Phantom Fireworks, lighting up backyards of America from coast to coast. Visit fireworks.com for a retail location near you.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
Hey, Maine, think you're wicked smart? Well, put your knowledge to the test with me, Ken Jennings, on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, folks. We are officially at the start of the summer season, and that means summer sport activities are beginning to pop up around the area. Most know Herman Mountain Ski Area as a winter sport location, but this summer owners Dave Hart and Tim McClary have set out to turn Herman Mountain into a 4-season destination. This July, Herman Mountain Ski Area is set to open up their 18-hole disc golf course to the public. Hart says that the new addition aids in their mission to operate year-round and provides a fun, family-friendly activity in the Herman area.
Yeah, so we find disc golf to be a pretty family-inclusive sport, so anybody can play it. My daughter plays it, she's 5 years old. My son plays it, he's 9, up to, I play it, parents play it, all that. So it's an inclusive sport that anybody can play. When we looked at the area, it's kind of an area that's lacking disc golf right in the Herman area, so we thought it was a great thing to bring to the community.
The new disc golf course features 18 holes that utilize the natural terrain of the mountain. Some holes will run through the ski trails, others will take players through the trees. That all leads to the final hole, a 900-footer near the top of the mountain that uses the change in elevation to carry the disc further. Hart says getting onto the course will be seamless for all participants, and if you're picking it up for the first time, it's definitely worth giving it a shot.
So we're looking to make the process as seamless as possible. So customers will show up, we'll have a QR code out front, they'll scan it, pay on their phone, and they'll be able to come over and play from there. I would say come out, give it a try. What can go wrong? It's just like playing Frisbee with your dog. Worst case scenario, you're outside enjoying the fresh air and getting some exercise.
I've actually never played disc golf. I think I'll have to get over there and give it a try myself. Well, it didn't take long. After the conclusion of NBA Finals for the first blockbuster trade to take place, Milwaukee superstar power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo has been traded to the Miami Heat. Late on Sunday night, news broke of a massive deal between the Bucks and Miami that sent Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis to the Heat in exchange for Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Khalil Ware, 4 first-round picks, including the number 13 pick in this year's draft, in a pick swap in 2030 and a second-round pick. The Heat were one of the teams speculated to pursue Giannis once the season concluded, but it was hard to imagine the haul that would be sent in exchange for a future Hall of Famer. Celtics fans, you may want to turn your attention elsewhere. It also was reported that Boston was heavily involved in the Giannis sweepstakes, and it was rumored that Jaylen Brown was a part of a potential package that would be sent to Milwaukee in exchange for Giannis. If the rumors are true, it'll be interesting to see how the Celtics address that Jaylen Brown situation moving forward. Well, for now, that is all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Patriot General Contractors, your go-to for all your carpentry needs. Let's talk weather out there for us today, and kind of a not-so-cool start to our day today, with low temperatures pretty much in the 50s across the region and kind of humid, but then not much recovery. Look at the highs today, only in the upper 60s across our area because we had lots of cloud cover and rain-cooled air across the region today. That will not be the case tomorrow. Slightly warmer across the area for tomorrow. All right, the plains are heating up once again, but generally most of the country is below average right now, but this is going to get warmer and kind of slide that way. So there are 80s in our 5-day forecast going forward. The wind out there today basically at the northwest around 10 miles per hour. This will go calm for a few hours tonight. The clearer skies, the lighter winds, the rain showers out there today as temperatures meet the dew point in the 50s. You know what that means, right? Some dense fog is likely across the area for tonight. All right, so wave heights out there now around 3 to 4 feet currently. Not enough for an advisory tonight, and likely not one for tomorrow as well, as the winds will stay light throughout the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. So watch out though for dense fog. If you're out driving, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m., dense fog will likely be in the area tonight into tomorrow morning, but quickly lift with the sunrise tomorrow. All right, our days are getting shorter now. Of course, we are past the peak of start of summer, and our days are getting shorter, and that means we should be getting warmer right now, but a thing called a seasonal lag. But generally, it's going to be kind of a wet stretch of weather for us this week. That's going to keep us a bit cooler compared to averages, but then by the weekend up near 80 once again. So dense fog is back in the forecast for us tonight. A wet stretch of weather though. Lots of dry hours too, but generally a chance for rain every single day this week into the weekend, and then lots of low 80s this weekend as well, with temperatures back then near average. All right, so we're going to dodge some storms tomorrow and also on Thursday and Friday and Saturday too. Likely non-severe, but just keep an eye on that going forward, especially over the weekend with some higher temperatures across the area then. So system 1 getting out of here currently. See you later. Behind it, we'll get some partial clearing skies for a while tonight, and then tomorrow stay pretty nice throughout the day, but then a chance for rain arrives again tomorrow evening, likely about this time tomorrow night, and then again another chance for rain gets in here most likely later on Thursday. So kind of a wet stretch going forward. Here's tomorrow about 6 o'clock or so with rain chances in the area. Then we get a break for several hours on Thursday morning, followed by another chance for rain Thursday evening. Here's Thursday evening right now. And then we get a break in the action Friday morning, followed by some more rain in the area on Friday evening into Saturday. So you get the idea with that chance for rain in the forecast going forward pretty much every single day into and through the weekend. So going forward though, for us though, rainfall-wise through Monday, we're probably talking maybe a ½ inch of rainfall, if not more, into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Our forecast then for tonight though is partly cloudy skies, dense fog late, with low temperatures down near 54 for tomorrow. All right, partly cloudy skies, warmer, a couple storms out there, highs near 77. Then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast includes an 80 on Thursday, cooler on Friday with rain, and more 80s possible Saturday and Sunday over the weekend.
Thank you so much, Jeff. There is still more to come after the break.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor. When outdoors, some people like it hot and some people like it cold. However, when indoors, most people like it comfortably warm. Consider a Rinnai direct vent wall furnace from McCusick Petroleum Company to provide you with comfortable and efficient heat. They also offer sales and service on many brands of furnaces, boilers, and water heaters. McCusick Petroleum Company delivers oil and LP gas to homes and businesses throughout the Pequot region. If you'd like more information on pricing or service, call or stop by our office in Dover Foxcroft.
Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped. Who says something like that?
Plattner said women should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. What's wrong with this guy?
Plattner said to avoid rape, women should act like an adult for F's sake. He's an awful person.
Graham Plattner is dangerous.
I would never vote for Graham Plattner.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Your internet experience feels different, ultra reliable, lightning fast. With Fidium 100% fiber, everything you do online works exactly like it should.
Night, bud. Zach, go to bed.
So is cable internet still slowing you down? Enough already. Fiber up to Fidium. Get a 2 gig plan for only $65 a month at fidiumfiber.com.
Welcome back. The Maine Moose Lottery had roughly 3,700 moose permits available this year, and late NASCAR driver Kyle Busch is said to have been the recipient of one. Busch died in May at the age of 41 after severe pneumonia led to sepsis and rapidly escalating complications. His name was drawn for an antlered October moose permit on Saturday. According to Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife spokesperson Mark Lottie, state law does allow the transfer of the permit to a family member in the case of death. It says the commissioner shall transfer a moose permit to a family member who meets the eligibility and permit requirements as outlined in the statute and who is not otherwise prohibited from holding the moose permit if the permit holder died at any time prior to the moose hunting season or if a moose hadn't yet been harvested under that permit. Well, the Belle of Belgrade is turning heads. It's a small bus that can accommodate up to 10 people for an adventure through Maine. Our Jody Hersey takes us on board.
Is everybody ready? Yes. All right, here we go.
For the past 6 months, the Belle of Belgrade has been rolling through Maine, taking passengers on book crawls, thrift store hops, and tea party getaways.
Don't be jealous, just join.
This mobile adventure experience was created by Lindy Wadbauer, who moved to Maine from Maryland 4 years ago.
It's my way of helping other people find those places that speak to them, feel in their soul what I have felt here.
5 women from a book club in Farmington recently hopped on board the Belle bus to participate in a book crawl through Belgrade and Waterville.
I really just liked the social aspect of it. I liked meeting a few new people and just hanging out with my girls.
Some shared adventures Lindy schedules herself. Other times, she creates an itinerary based off requests from the public.
I'm obsessed with Belgrade, and so a lot of the tours originate there and try to incorporate pieces of it. And then we go Bangor, down east, down to Portland, out to the coast. Every single time this bus turns its wheels, there's an average of 3 to 4 other small businesses that are supported through that. And we cross an average of 3 towns, generating an average of $1,000 into the community revenue in one bus trip.
The Farmington Book Club group gives the experience 2 thumbs up.
It's so cute. I love Lindy taking us all over the place and meeting new faces.
It was a much needed girls' day. I enjoyed it. It was great.
In Belgrade, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks like a great way to see some new places. Our thanks to Jody for that report. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. We'll see you back here later on this evening.
tonight. The flood watches and rounds of severe storms triggering isolated tornadoes. Also, the smoke over parts of L.A. Firefighters battling the warehouse fire burning for days. And the landmark decisions to watch for. World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast in America.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you.
Critical investments are strengthening Maine, thanks to Senator Susan Collins. The biggest investment in our rural hospitals in decades. New investment.